For the sausage rolls, you need 450 grams of sausage meat or some sausages. I'm actually doing half of the recipe, so this works out as 4 sausages, or if you were doing the full recipe, that would be 8 sausages. I have some ready-made puff pastry, some flour, and then you need to think if you want to flavour your sausages, so you may want to add some cheese. I've got some onions, some fresh sage, and this also goes quite nice if you add some sage and onion stuffing mixture to it to pack it out. So you start off by de-skinning the sausages. Take a knife and the tip and draw the knife down to take the skin off. Remove the skin and place the sausage in a bowl. I'm then going to prepare with a clean knife so that I don't cross-contaminate from my raw meat. To here I'm going to prepare my herbs, so I squeeze my herbs up into a ball, cut in front of the fingers. This is sage. You could use rosemary, parsley, chives, chilli. You need these chopped quite small. For you guys, it might be easier to do a spring onion rather than an onion like this. So for my older girls in senior school, you could use the onion, but to make it a little bit easier, we've got spring onions. So I take top and tail them, and you remove the papery outer layer. You could also snip your herbs with scissors. With my spring onion prepared, I'm then going to just cut them into quite small chunks. I'm going to add a handful of the sage and onion stuffing. It's really down to personal preference. Cranberry's another one that works quite well, so I did about a handful. I'll just add my sage and my spring onion, and I'm going to give it a jolly good stir. So I'm going to mush it down with the back of a fork to get it all combined. Once it is mainly combined, you're going to have to get your hands in there, girls. So squidge everything together. With everything squidged together so that it is evenly distributed, put your sausage meat back onto your chopping board, and you need to roll it into a long sausage. This is easier doing it with wet hands. So you need to decide if you're going to make small cocktail sausages or a big chunky one. It's quite trendy at the moment to have quite a big fat sausage roll. So I am going to do the big chunky sausage roll. So there's my sausage meat. Very lightly flour my surface. You do not want too much flour, otherwise it will make your pastry dry. And here I've got a ready-made sheet rolled out. So take it out of the fridge for about 20 minutes beforehand so it's easier to roll, and transfer it onto the flour. I have my pastry and my sausage. I'm just going to shape the sausage until it's the same length as the pastry. Quick wash of the hands. You can then dampen. I just, with my hand, put some cold water, and you take the pastry and you roll over. Now, you do not roll it like a blanket. You take the pastry and you take it over so that it touches the other surface, and you press down. Now this looks quite messy at the moment, so we're going to neaten it up. So I take my knife to trim the excess pastry. Then with a fork, trim the edges up. There we go. Then you're now going to glaze your sausage roll before you cut it. So you can do this with beaten egg, some melted butter. I've got some milk, just brush over. And I'm just, for some texture, I'm just going to sprinkle some sesame seeds over the top. This will also add more fibre to give you a healthy digestive system. Then with a clean ruler, measure the length of your sausage roll. So mine is 24 centimetres and I want to feed 4 people. So half of 24 is, that's right, it is 12, and half of 12 is 6. So I've got quite large chunky sausage rolls here. You may like to do some cocktail ones, which are the little ones, but these, just put a few more seeds on. These would be quite nice for a luncheon as part of a Ploughman's. Pop them on a baking sheet. Now it's important that you cook them long enough so that the sausage is cooked in the middle. These are quite chunky, so I'm going to cook them in a preheated oven, quite a hot oven at 200 degrees, and I will check them after about 20 minutes. Here's my sausage rolls. They've been in the oven for 20 minutes. They're lovely and golden brown. If you had a food probe, you would then insert it into the thickest part and check that it has reached 75 degrees. Here we go, girls. You can make your parents the ultimate Ploughman's for lunch.